Pranam. Ahinsa is a very popular spiritual term. In fact, Ahinsa Parmo Dharma states that the highest form of Dharma is Ahinsa. How do we understand Ahinsa and how do we practice it in our daily lives is the most important question. Mostly when we refer to the term Ahinsa, the first thing that comes to our mind is that I will practice non-violence, I will not harm others. Correct? But that is not the complete dimension of Ahinsa. Ahinsa is much more deeper, much more divine, much more powerful than just resolving that I will not harm others. Let us divide this concept into two parts. The first part is our worldly concept, our existence in this universe, and how we behave in this universe. This facet of Ahinsa means that when you exist in the universe, you must exist as per natural laws and you must not harm other living beings. Okay, that in itself is good. It is a moral virtue. It is a sign of a good worldly character. But when we take this concept to the spiritual domain, the meanings change, the depth of this concept also changes a lot. When we look at ourselves, when we look at our soul, our spirit, what do we see? What do we feel about ourselves? We can feel our consciousness, we can feel our intelligence, and we can also feel our emotions. Correct? Now, spirituality and the Mahajanam science states that you have a few fundamental virtues which we can label as divine virtues. And these divine virtues need to be nurtured, need to be purified, need to be evolved because you have never done so. These virtues have always remained either dormant or they have been polluted through your different lives. In fact, thousands and millions of life forms that you may have taken. So, when your attention goes to your core virtues, you are actually going inwards. What is the relationship of these core virtues and Ahimsa? That is the right question to ask. When we don't know our core virtues, we don't know what we are doing with them. And most of the time, we are misusing or abusing them. The spiritual meaning of Ahimsa comes into the picture at this point. When you become aware of your core virtues, and you become aware of what is damaging them, what is polluting them, what is hindering them, and you take the necessary action to stop the damage to your core virtues. That becomes the spiritual ahimsa. What are your core virtues? Let's think about it. Consciousness, your will, your intelligence, your actions, your feelings and emotions. Everything is part of your core. These are the signs that you are alive, you are a living being. Because a non-living being cannot have any of these virtues. It will not have intelligence, it will not have consciousness, it will not have its own will, it will not have its actions, etc. So, when you become aware of your core virtues, you will also become aware of how you are using them. The term for this is Vritti. Vritti means how you have conditioned these virtues, how you have programmed these virtues, and how you are using them knowingly and unknowingly. Mostly it is unknowingly because you just act instinctively. It is by instinct. You will not think why you are acting in a particular way. Ahimsa makes you aware of your instincts. What are you doing instinctively? And this awareness itself is the foundation of ahimsa. Now, there is a practical issue in many parts of your life, in many facets of your life. Let us not separate the worldly ahimsa and the spiritual ahimsa. Let us merge them. And we come to a very common question that is asked, that if we are not harming others, our day-to-day need of food itself constitutes some harm, isn't it? Because we are eating other life forms, whether it is in the form of a fruit, a vegetable, or any other food article for that matter. A living being survives on another living being. That means that every living being is using energy of some other living being. So if you have to eat something, you are doing hinsa, you are harming someone. It's a very fundamental question. What to do about it? The answer is very simple, that when we are eating something, we should have the intention of eating for our survival, of the energy that is required for our existence. If our motive or intention is to eat for taste or pleasure, then it becomes hinsa. But if your motive and your intention is for getting energy necessary for your existence, then it becomes ahimsa. And a step further, in the Indian culture, there is a practice that we always fold our hands, seek blessings, thank God for giving us the food that we are eating. Translated into scientific terms, when you take permission from other living beings, the items that constitute your natural food, when you take permission from them that please give me this energy for my survival, you are actually diluting your ego, you are diluting your greed, you are diluting your pleasure senses and aligning yourself to the laws of nature. That becomes ahimsa. So friends, ahimsa is a beautiful concept. You must practice the worldly form of ahimsa and the spiritual form of ahimsa together. You must meditate on your vrittis, your inclinations, and the minute you become aware of your inclinations, the process of ahimsa has started. And just to give you some easy tip on how to understand your inclinations, how to understand your vrittis, which are hinsa, which are violent, there is a very simple formula for that. The concept of vritti is the essence of practicing ahimsa. By this, we infer that when we understand the concept of vritti, we feel the vrittis and then we align ourselves to the right vritti and abandon whatever is the wrong vritti. It translates into Ahinsa Parmo Dharma. What are our vrittis? Vrittis are our inclinations, our intentions. In simple words, it can be greed, it can be anger, it can be fear, can be jealousy, it can be like and dislike, attachment, etc. When we sit down quietly, we introspect, we review our actions, we review the intention behind our actions, and then we will realize how the vrittis are influencing us, how they are making us mere puppets under their influence. And the way to correct the vritti is by the practice of vrata. So vrata is a term which is connected to your behavior. It is connected to the antidotal attitudes to your vrittis. So friends, ahimsa can be easily practiced by involving vratas in your day-to-day life. Vrat, as it is called in its native language, is nothing but your self-discipline, your self-awareness, and conscientiousness. That means you are mindful of what you are doing. Then only you will truly practice ahimsa and progress on the spiritual path.